welcome back. I'm delighted to share that Assistant City Manager for the City of Oceanside, Michael Gossman, is here to share information about an important ballot item, Measure X. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm happy to be here with you,
I'm
Michael.
happy to be here. Good to see you outside of the work milieu.
I know. So we work together.
We do.
You're a city employee.
I am a city employee, yes.
And you oversee a pretty large amount of city departments. Tell folks about that.
The city of Oceanside, I think one of the things that we're sort of proud of is that we run a pretty lean shop. And so I wear a lot of hats, keeps things really interesting. I oversee everything from the water utilities department to the finance department to libraries, as well as economic development. But more than that, I just do work on a lot of projects. You know, we're a group of scrappy, can-do kind of people who figure out how to get things done. So homelessness, Measure X, these are the things that I work on a day-to-day basis, and I get to work with some really amazing people and love it. I love it, but I'm not a politician. I work for the city manager who's appointed by the city council, and I like it that way. I have no interest in ever going down that path.
Yeah. So you are working closely with Measure X.
Yes.
It's a ballot item. Tell folks a little bit about it.
Well, I think it's important to talk a little bit about the history. So the original Measure X, the one that we have today, is a half-cent sales tax. It was voted in by the voters of Oceanside in November of 2018. It went into effect in April of 2019, and it would term out in April of 2026. The voters said that they wanted a sales tax that would pay for things such as public safety, issues related to homelessness, but also a lot of infrastructure. You know, the city had gone through ups and downs in the past. We had a lot of needs, and we wanted to invest in those needs.
Yeah, and that's what has happened, right?
That is what's happened.
It has enabled the city to really invest in a lot of those different areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's important that I say up front that I'm not here to advocate for people to vote one way or another, but I think it's important that people understand what Measure X pays for, what it would continue to pay for, should it be extended. You know, we've built a new Fire Station 1, the existing fire station, or the one that pre-existed, our new Fire Station 1, went back almost 100 years and was in sore need of updating and modernization. Our first responders deserve that. Now we have a state-of-the-art Fire Station 1 in downtown. We have a state-of-the-art fire training tower. We have implemented a second homeless outreach team. That's paid for by Measure X. That includes 2 police officers and a social worker, and hundreds, literally over 500 miles of lane miles of roads have been paved, repaired, made like new. And that's just a few of the things that Measure X has done since it started in April of 2019.
So if people vote yes on Measure X, they would be continuing the work.
They would be continuing that work. They would continue the EMT program that Measure X pays for. We're also looking to expand the scope of what's going into Measure X. If you read the ballot language carefully, it would include money for sand replenishment, which anybody in Oceanside knows we're in sore need of that. But yes, it would continue our pavement program, it would continue our traffic calming program, our second HOT, our EMT program, our community service officer program within the police department. It does a lot, and it's genuinely made a big difference in the city of Oceanside. It's, you know, one of the things that we're really proud of related to it is the amount of transparency that goes along with this particular measure. You know, when the city council put the ordinance on the books, they said it's going to include a citizens oversight committee. That's a panel of separate people. Unlike an advisory committee, they actually have the ability to say, no, that is not an appropriate use of Measure X. So they review every spending plan that we have, and we've had a 7-year spending plan for the existing sales tax, and we would have a 10-year spending plan for the proposed 10-year extension to that. And they review that, and they check off yes or no, and then it goes to city council.
Okay, so a lot of transparency with it as well. And for folks that are voting, it really would be status quo as far as the sales tax. They wouldn't see an increase. It would just be a continuation of what's been in place.
Exactly. As I mentioned, it's a half-cent sales tax. It would expire April 2026. This ballot initiative takes that existing sales tax and just extends it for another 10 years.
So some essential purchases, diapers,
Medicine, food, that's all exempt. You don't pay tax on that anywhere. So, that's a state of California exemption.
So those would not be part of Measure X?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's really, it's important for people to understand, because oftentimes when we pay our sales tax, we see that line item on our receipt and it goes away. We have no idea how that's being divided up. Prior to Measure X, the city received about 1% of that. The rest went to the state, the county, schools. And so this 0.5% goes directly right back into the city, and it gives us a lot more latitude and leeway on how we're going to spend that.
So all of the funds stay local?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. They all stay local. As a matter of fact, we had an economist take a look at the spending patterns within the city and how sales tax is generated. 63% of our sales tax actually comes from out-of-town residents and businesses.
Oh, wow. Okay. So businesses and visitors are the primary measure.
And I think that's fair. They benefit from it, and we all benefit from it. It's a great little economy there.
Yes, absolutely. So if people want to find out more about Measure X or any item on the ballot, because it's an important thing, how could they do that?
I would encourage them to just Google Oceanside City Clerk. Take a look at the city clerk's website. They've got a list of all of it. They've got the list of people that have supported Measure X as well as people who have opposed. Measure X is supported by the Measure X Citizens Oversight Committee. As well as the San Diego Taxpayers Association. They took a really close look at how we developed our spending plans, how we were managing the funds, and importantly, and this is a big deal for the Taxpayers Association, the efficacy of the funds that we have. Are they going to where we said they're going to do, and are they making a difference? And their determination was that it was.
Yeah.
And I would also assert that it is making a difference, and you can see it as you drive around.
Well, thank you, Michael, for all you do for the
city.
Thank
you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you
too. You're watching KOCT Television in Oceanside.